Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for this community briefing on COVID-19 and our local response. Joining me again is interpreter Francis Beaurivage. Thank you, Francis, for being here today. And thank you to all the media and residents who are tuning in. We want to remind everyone to please visit our website at covid19.lincoln.ne.gov for the latest updates and information about how you can protect yourself, your loved ones, and our community. We've had 4 new cases of people with COVID-19 reported in Lincoln today. That brings the total number of lab-confirmed cases of people in Lincoln with COVID-19 to 49. All 4 individuals' cases have been deemed community-acquired, and that means that the total number of people in Lincoln with community-acquired COVID-19 now stands at 31. Here to provide more details on the Health Department's investigations of these cases is Interim Health Director Pat Lopez.
Good afternoon. Of these 4 cases, 2 women are in their 30s. There's 1 male in his 30s and another woman in her 60s. All are isolated and close contacts are self-quarantined. We currently have 4 individuals in the hospital being treated. Much of the increase in cases can be attributed to the ability to do more testing in the community through Bryan Health and CHI Health, and the implementation of their drive-through testing sites at LifePoint and North Star High School. CHI has more testing capability available now, so the public is encouraged to contact them and go through their process, as well as Bryan. As we move forward, we should anticipate more new cases will be community spread. We need the public to understand the seriousness of this situation, and each of us must contribute to being part of the solution in reducing the spread of the disease. Although the risk of severe illness may be different for everyone, anyone can get and spread COVID-19. Everyone has a role to play in slowing the spread and protecting themselves, the family, and our community. I know this is a difficult situation for all of us, but this is a crucial time to prevent more spread. All the public interactions you avoid today can affect what we may face over the next week in the spread of new cases. Everyone should assume there is risk of exposure anytime you are out in the public space where other people are present. All of us should be staying home as much as possible to prevent the spread of the virus. And when you are sick or someone in your household is sick with symptoms, you should self-quarantine and isolate from others.
Thank you, Director Lopez. As we work together to contain this virus, the actions we take during the next 3 weeks, when we expect to see more people diagnosed with COVID-19, are just absolutely critical. We need Lincolnites to make every effort to stay home, and here are some rules of thumb about how to stay home and stay healthy. Number 1, stay home. Refrain from non-essential gatherings or errands. And number 2, work from home if you can, or use the 6-foot physical distancing rule in your workplace. Number 3, shop alone and shop only once a week. Number 4, kids should play at home. No group sports and no playgrounds. All playgrounds in Lincoln remain closed. Number 5, help seniors stay home by shopping for them. Visit them through email or phone calls or texts rather than in person. And number 6, it's important to exercise, but please observe physical distancing while you do so. And number 7, wear a face covering when you're out in public and may have trouble keeping physical distance from others. And a reminder as we head into what is an important holiday weekend for many, we all understand the importance of sharing holiday occasions with others, but it is extremely important that we celebrate safely. Observing holidays at home in your household, with those in your immediate household, is the best way to keep everyone safe. The State Department of Health and Human Services has posted a very helpful FAQ document for faith-based communities, and we have that posted now on our website as well at covid19.lincoln.ne.gov. Today's briefing topic is all about how we can support local businesses during this pandemic. Local businesses, especially small local businesses, have been disproportionately impacted by COVID-19. In a recent national survey of independent small businesses, over 90% of such businesses said that they have been negatively impacted by COVID-19, with 31% reporting supply chain disruptions, 80% reporting lower sales, and 23% reporting concerns over sick employees. About half of the small businesses polled said they can survive for no more than 2 months. And this is, of course, concerning because small businesses form not only the backbone of our economy in many ways, but they also form the backbone of our communities. Businesses are often locally owned, which means that some people with decision-making control of these businesses are connected to the community and understand the local impacts of decisions made at the organizational level. They create local jobs and return a greater proportion of money to the local economy than do non-local businesses. And these small business owners are people we know and love. I was just FaceTiming last night with my sister, who, while she doesn't live in Lincoln, is experiencing what many Lincoln small business owners are experiencing. She's had to shutter her own business. And while we were FaceTiming last night, I could tell that she had something on the table in front of her. And then she showed me a jigsaw puzzle. And she said, as she sat there and we talked about what she's going through, that doing that jigsaw puzzle just it's hard and it's complicated and it makes her feel like she's solving some problems while she's at home. And you know, the small businesses that we have here in Lincoln, they exist to solve problems and to fulfill people's needs. They contribute to the economic success and the social fabric and distinctive character of our city. They are so invested in the well-being of our community and its residents, and it's evidenced by the sacrifices that they are making to help us all stay healthy and safe. Here's what one local business owner wrote to me personally after learning that she had to shutter her business to comply with our local directed health measures, and I quote, "Humanity has endured much worse and persevered. This is our world war. We will live to tell the tale." The grace and understanding of so many local business owners as they place the collective good above self is truly remarkable and inspiring. To honor the enormous sacrifices that they are making to protect the most vulnerable among us during this pandemic, I urge residents of Lincoln who are in a position to support local businesses to do so. Many of those businesses closed their doors and reduced their operations out of a sense of civic duty, out of a sense of wanting to do their part for our community. And now we must do our civic duty to support them. Take this time to tell them how much you value and support their services. Leave them good reviews. Order online to the extent you can, or purchase gift cards for future use. Tip generously. When you're thinking about those close contact service providers like hairdressers, nail and tattoo artists, and massage therapists whom you know and who have had to close during this difficult time, reach out to them. Ask them how you can serve them during this moment. With that, I have a few guests with me today who will speak to the importance of supporting local businesses in our community and who have been doing just that in their capacities as business leaders. Bud Seinhorst, president of the Lincoln Independent Business Association, or LIBA, is here with me today, as well as Todd Ogden of the Downtown Lincoln Association. Bud, I'd love to hand it over to you to tell us a little bit more about what LIBA is doing to support its member organizations and our local economy. Bud?
Well, thank you very much, Mayor. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today via Zoom as it is, as our world is changing that way. First of all, I want to thank you and the administration for sharing these directives and these measures for our business owners, because it's been important. I know there are some business owners that you've mentioned that have had to temporarily shut down their business, but it's important for all the ones that are still able to be open. And we really appreciate that. I know, like you, I've seen so many business owners who've adjusted to what they can do to serve our community. So thank you very much. And we've even done that with our office at LIBA, where we've reduced our staffing. So we're only about 2 or 3 of us in the building instead of all 8 of us. to be able to serve business owners and manage the social distancing and all of those. So about 2 weeks ago, 2.5, 3 weeks ago, with some other folks around. Am I still there? There we go. Sorry, I had an interruption there in my service. So, but we worked with the Nebraska Retail Federation and Sandhills Global here in Lincoln to develop a website called NebraskaBuyLocal.com. And that's Nebraska BUY local.com. And that website was set up for business owners, small business owners, to offer gift cards that people could go out and purchase. And we felt like that was a great way for those people to try to reach out, to try to get some cash flow into their business right away during this difficult time. And so we've got businesses from Lincoln and actually around the state. We open it up to businesses all over Nebraska. So small business owners, I continue to encourage them to go on, register their business on there to offer these gift cards and to be able to sell those. We also sold so that when you go on and buy a gift card, that you will be able to, the person who purchases it pays the little bit of fee that's out there to process it from a processing standpoint. So we really appreciate that. We appreciate our partners, the Retail Federation and Sandhills, for helping put this together. This went from an idea to implementation in less than 48 hours. We've had about $5,000 in gift cards that have been purchased so far. So that's that's $5,000 that's gone right back into local businesses. So, if you're looking for another way besides order and delivery and takeout for your family, or trying to
Well, thank you, Bud. Thank you for everything that you and the Retail Federation and others have done to try to boost the fates of our local businesses. We appreciate so much your leadership. Oh, there you are. Are you back?
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
I had a technical problem with my internet there. So, but it's a way for business owners, about dollars has gone into local businesses, which is awesome. We've got in excess of 100 businesses signed up. So it's a good way to support our local businesses in this time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again, Bud. We're really grateful for your leadership and thanks for shining. Businesses have adapted and retooled their operations during this time. And we urge everyone to buy local and take advantage of the program you've started. Next up, we're going to hear from Downtown Lincoln Association President and CEO Todd Ogden on some of the innovations that he's seeing and spearheading around curbside pickup and delivery. Todd, I hand it over to you.
Thanks, Larry. Thank you, Mayor. And thank you for everything you have all done in your leadership, and Bud for everything you guys have done. Not only you guys, but the Nebraska Retail Fed, Chamber, Community Foundation, United Way. I think seeing a lot of other nonprofits step up during this time has certainly helped. Certainly our major focus is the businesses and the small businesses, and our specific focus is downtown, certainly. And it's definitely not an easy time for our downtown businesses. And our goal with the organization is do everything we can to help support them. It's been amazing to see how the businesses have come together. Many of them have brought ideas to us, and they've really rallied around each other to kind of build this community around responding to the new reality that we have. And how can we still spend money yet socially distance and stay safe as a community? And there's a few little things that we've tried to do to help support that. I mean, this by no means comes even close to making up for the losses that they're experiencing during this time. But I think the most important thing that we're trying to do is make sure the businesses know that we're still here for them and we're doing everything we possibly can. So really quickly, a couple different things that we've tried to implement are, first and foremost, being downtown. Certainly parking is always top of mind. And the first thing we wanted to try to do is make sure parking was a lot easier for those that wanted to either get food, shop, and get a hold of any goods downtown that they wanted to. So the curbside parking was implemented, where the green curbside parking signs like this right here are in front of the meters for people who want to order curbside pickup. And a lot of the signs have phone numbers or websites there to know what to do. So that's super important. We've also created a website with updates on everywhere you can get the curbside parking. So I have my screen share right here, where if you go to downtownlincoln.org, we have our specific COVID response page for the downtown businesses. So if you click on any category, any food and drink, retail, shopping, curbside pickup, this is downtown. You can get takeout, delivery, curbside availability, and most importantly, buying gift cards. That's something, regardless of how much social distancing, we still really encourage, like Bud said too, whether it's through that site or whether it's through the businesses, to get money directly back into them so they can help support not only their business. We've been really encouraged by that. Through a lot of other team there, they put help fundraise. There was one put together with the state of Nebraska, downtown one, where you could, and all the profits go back into supporting the local businesses. For downtown specifically, we have everything going in from the profits to the shirt to help support the businesses, and the profits will then go into basically we're utilizing the profits. It's not going to be a huge number, but what we're going to do is allow that to have gift card incentives for people to participate. So we're actually going to launch quarantine bingo on Monday to get people excited. So you can go online, and we've had businesses respond, and we're going to do this each week starting Monday, where if people complete some of these orders, we'll give away anywhere from $20 to $150 worth of gift cards to any individual that participates and completes their bingo card. So we're trying to get creative, keep it fun, keep the incentivized nature to want to continue to spend more money downtown. So that's another thing we're trying to put together here. And overall, I think a lot of it, again, through these tactics, it's just another way we're looking to help support businesses and keep money directly into there. So you can do to help. I think the main thing is to continue to buy gift cards, buy those shirts, and continue to stay educated on everything going on in here in the business community. And we'll do everything we can to help support. And thanks again, Mayor, for everything you and your staff have done for all of downtown Lincoln and the rest of the city.
All the folks at the Downtown Association, we encourage everyone to take advantage of the curbside delivery and pickup that you've made so easy for folks downtown, and to participate in takeout bingo. It's a really clever way to try to get people supporting downtown businesses. So thanks so much for those efforts. You know, your support during this time means so much to the small businesses in our community. When you buy goods and services from our businesses, you're helping a mom pay a mortgage, a dad put food on the table, or a student pay for college. When you offer your reassurance and show your compassion, you bring a smile to a person here, to a neighbor who may be struggling. And we just never underestimate the power of small gestures and small kindnesses that are lovingly given. These little acts have big ripples, and they can provide a lifeline to a business owner in a moment like this of unprecedented hardship. As a reminder, our website, covid19.lincoln.ne.gov, contains ample resources for businesses and residents, and it's updated regularly with new information on economic and other types of supports. We also have a new How to Help page, which includes ideas for how people can help serve the community during this challenging time, including by supporting our local businesses. At this point, we'd like to switch focus and provide you with an update about new changes in city services. To date, we've made certain adjustments in our city services to reflect changes in volume and to implement best practices that have been recommended to us by our health department. For the next 3 weeks, we are tightening up some access to city services in order to emphasize the importance of staying home. Starting on Tuesday, April 14th, and lasting at least until May 6th, we will be closing our public building counters in the building and safety, finance, and planning departments. Most of these transactions that would normally be done at a public counter can be done electronically. In special circumstances where that's not the case, we encourage individuals to contact the departments about setting up a meeting by appointment. We will also be closing the payment counter in the water department. And services provided at the health department should also be conducted by appointment only in order to provide for the proper physical distancing measures to be implemented. Additionally, we are implementing a slight change in our services at public libraries. City libraries have been providing pickup service during regular hours since March 20th. And starting on Monday, April 13th, all libraries will close at 6 p.m. Usage of the pickup service during that 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. time interval has been much lighter over the last few weeks, only representing about 6% of the total daily business at our city libraries. So we know we can continue to offer service to a number of our patrons, but just during the hours that with the close of business at 6. And we appreciate the public's patience as we adjust our efforts to combat the spread of COVID-19. With that, we'll conclude by sharing some good news. First, for all those independent contractors and self-employed individuals out there, today is the day that you can apply for and receive the Paycheck Protection Program loans to cover certain expenses. We encourage you to apply today through your local SBA-approved lender. And second, we are thrilled to announce the launch today of Childcare LNK. The pandemic has shifted and changed the childcare landscape in our community. Some providers have closed and older family members are isolating and unavailable to help. And at the same time, school closures and teleworking have created openings at other childcare centers and providers. For parents in essential jobs who suddenly need quality childcare, Childcare LNK or Childcare Link will connect them with licensed providers who have openings. I'm delighted to introduce the leader of this effort, Ann Brandt, who is the executive director of Lincoln Littles. She'll talk about how this tool will help one of our most important local businesses, our childcare providers, as they continue to provide their essential services for our community. With that, I hand it over to you, Ann. If you could unmute and share with us about your exciting new initiative, Ann Brandt.
Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon. We appreciate this opportunity to get this news out to the public. Lincoln's littlest residents are feeling the impact of the ongoing pandemic as the community's childcare landscape shifts and changes. As you mentioned, some childcare centers and home providers have closed or have been forced to reduce enrollment. Others have kept their doors open but have slots to fill. Meanwhile, working parents who often hold those essential jobs in light of COVID-19 are left in search of affordable, quality childcare. Today, we are excited to announce the launch of Childcare Link, a tool created to connect parents to more than 700 current childcare openings in our community. Childcare Link can be found by going to the MyLink app or website and searching Childcare Link. The site will be updated each Monday. While Childcare Link was created as a result of the pandemic, it is filling a long-standing need in our community to connect Lincoln families with caregivers. We want to thank our partners in this important collaboration, MyLink, Nebraska Children and Families Foundation, the University of Nebraska's Public Policy Center, the City of Lincoln, and the Lincoln-Lancaster County Health Department. And we also want to thank our amazing childcare providers for their daily work, caring for the education, nurturing, and well-being of Lincoln's children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ann. We're so lucky to have you leading this, and thank you to all your partners. The service that these childcare businesses provide is so essential to our community, as they are making it possible for parents to remain gainfully employed by providing a safe and supportive environment for our littlest residents. We need these childcare businesses to continue to operate to the greatest extent possible, consistent with the latest directed health measures from our health department. And we are deeply grateful to all of the childcare professionals out there who are making it possible for our healthcare providers and first responders to continue to report to work while the rest of us are being encouraged to stay home. We are also deeply grateful to you, Ann, and for all those involved in developing Childcare Link, a new vital resource for our community's resilience. Thank you. And finally, a big thank you to the Lincoln Chinese Cultural Association, which has been doing fundraisers to purchase personal protective equipment, or PPE, from other countries. The association has donated masks and latex-free disposable gloves to the Lancaster Sheriff's Office, to Lincoln Fire and Rescue, and to the Lincoln Police Department. On Wednesday, they donated another 2,000 pairs of gloves and 350 surgical masks to the city's Unified Command to distribute to our first responders. The association is also organizing grocery shopping and Chinese translation services for those in need. This is just another example of how our community organizations and businesses have stepped up to meet the challenges that we are facing as a community. And during this pandemic, Lincoln's people will continue to be the solution to the problems we face. With that, I'd be happy to open it up to the media for any questions they have. Director Lopez is still here, and of course, we still have Todd Ogden, Bud Seinhorst, and Ann Brandt still with us via Zoom. Any questions from the media?
Riley from the Journal Star here with a question for Director Lopez.
Good afternoon, Riley.
Good afternoon, Pat. How have the individuals who are hospitalized, how have they been progressing? And do you have a sense for whether it is particularly how serious some of their prognoses are?
You know, I just learned about the hospitalizations, Riley, right before we came in, so I'll find out more information and be able to update you on that later. But I can tell you if the condition is really critical, the hospitals let us know, and we haven't gotten that contact.
Are there any other questions? Riley, did you have another question?
Yes, Mayor, can you talk a little bit about the decision to sort of restrict access to some of those counter spaces in the grand scheme of deciding how to keep city services accessible to the public?
Well, we know our local government here at City Hall, we play a vital role in delivering essential city services that our residents depend upon. And we've been working hard to continue to deliver those services under these extraordinary circumstances. And what we've been doing over the past few weeks is looking for ways to innovate and adapt, and where possible, shift to an electronic environment. And where that's possible, we're trying to make those adaptations. And the decision really came about with the push that we want to make over the next 3 weeks, through the month of April, to try to safely surge in Lincoln. You know, we are monitoring our caseloads. We are thinking about the families of the current COVID-19 patients, and we want to try to prevent new families from knowing what it's like to have someone they love who's been diagnosed with COVID-19. And so our efforts to protect families and the healthcare providers and all those who are on the front lines involve, of course, trying to reduce the amount of community contact that people have out in public. And if people who do business with the city can do that online, well, we want to make that a possibility for them. So that's why we're making these changes now through May 6th. We'll reevaluate then. That's when our directed health measures will also be reevaluated. But we believe that that is a timeline that's appropriate for taking these extra precautions where we can and still delivering services. And once again, if people have to do their business in person, we're still here for them. We'll do that by appointment so that we can maintain physical distancing and still make sure that we attend to their needs. Other questions? Diane, are you receiving any questions directly that you want to relay to me?
Nope, I haven't received any, Mayor.
Okay, okay, great.
I'll ask it because
Okay.
it's in the group chat. It looks like Lynn Fisher from KZUM wants to ask, Mayor, if you're planning to keep the parks and trails open as long as folks don't gather in large groups.
Well, that attention, it really just comes down to how people are behaving across our community. And what I'm encouraged by is seeing how many people want to do the right thing, whether that's the hundreds of calls we've had about how to comply with our directed health measures, or the folks who are reporting suspected violations of our rules about public gatherings. People in Lincoln want to do the right thing. They want their friends and neighbors and people they don't know to do the right thing. And as long as people continue to take precautions, our parks and trails are such an asset under normal circumstances, but particularly now when people are cooped up at home and they need to get out and enjoy some fresh air in a safe way. We know that, being outdoors and having airflow allows for more safe, it's a safe way that we can be out in public as long as we maintain that 6-foot physical distance from other people. And while we want people to stay home, we understand that they may need to get out and get a little exercise or walk their dogs. And if they don't want to do that just in their backyard or around their block on the sidewalk, they can use our parks and trails as a valuable resource. If it becomes clear that there are large public gatherings, if it becomes clear that people are not safely using these resources, then we will all have to forego them. And I don't want us to have to do that. So thank you to all of you out there who are using our parks and trails safely. Please help us keep them open. Other questions?
I have just one quick one for Director Lopez. Is there a male versus female breakdown of the 49 cases in Lincoln?
She'll be right here with you, Bill.
There is, Bill, and it's on the website, I believe. I don't have the exact numbers with me right now, but it would be on there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
Any other questions?
Yes, this is Diane. I have a question that's been texted from Channel 8. People continue to ask us where people who have tested positive have been, like grocery stores, gas stations, etc. Even though this has been asked in the past, can you answer it again?
Well, one thing I can say that's been made clear by our health department is that now that community spread cases have taken hold in our community, people need to understand that COVID-19 could be anywhere. Anywhere you go in public presents the risk of exposure. And that's why, even if the health department listed specific locations, we don't want to give a false sense of security to people that other places not listed are perfectly safe. The potential for exposure to COVID-19 exists community-wide now that we have community-acquired cases. And that's why we need people to observe these important safety precautions, to wear face coverings out in public to protect those around them in case they are asymptomatic spreaders. We need to make sure that people are doing their best to stay home as much as possible. And particularly if you're sick. If you are sick, stay home and isolate within your home. And if anyone else in your house is in your household and you're sick, they also need to self-quarantine and stay home. And this is how we put the virus in a box. We need to try to put the virus in a box. And the best way we do that is by limiting our movements in the community and assuming that we could get it anywhere out in the community. Any other questions? Thank you for tuning in to stay informed, to get accurate, reliable, timely information about how to stay safe and healthy. Please do your best to stay home this weekend and in the coming weeks. This is really an opportunity to do your part, like so many of our small businesses, to protect our healthcare system and save lives. Stay well, Lincoln.